Welcome to this podcast. This is the first episode on shaping gender narrative in creative spaces. Our aim is to help artists to call out gender biasness in the community and also to create positive gender relations in our communities. Today, I'm joined by my fellow wonderful people in creative space, and I would like them to introduce themselves. But before we begin, I would like to let you know that we have something for you. It's a surprise till the end of the episode. Please tune in. My name is Elizabeth Wambui. I work with Hope Raises Initiative. I am an artist, an environmental illustrator, a weaver, and a painter. And I'm joined by my fellow artists here, and I would like them to introduce themselves. Please, Coptel, please introduce yourself. Tell us what you do, who you are, where you're from, and what you like about what you do.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you for hosting me today. Good afternoon, our viewers. I go by the name A-zee Coptel Baba Taifa, also officially known as Bahati Hezbon. I'm an artist, I'm an activist, I'm an entertainer, spoken word artist, and I am based in Embakasi, 33. And yeah, I like entertaining.
Thank you. Chebet.
Okay, so my name is Chebet Mary Lucy, and I am a lawyer professionally, but in the creative space, I work with Mizizi Africa. And what I do is I put the advocacy in a creative way. So I try and explain the rights that somebody has, but in a very creative way so that people can understand, and I break it down for them. And I'm happy to be here.
Okay, so now we know who you are. We will just dive into the conversation. So maybe to begin, I would like to know what you think gender is and sex in your own experiences in the creative spaces that you are in. So maybe we begin.
Okay. So I think for me, gender is a social construct. Okay, so it's a definition of what we think a man is and a woman is. So, but differentiate from sex, sex is what makes biologically somebody to be male and female. So those are the two concepts of what gender and sex is.
Coptel?
Yeah, I think I'm a poor because gender most of the times, like socially. Unajua, tukizaliwa tulikuwa tunaambiwa mwanaume hafai kuosha vyombo, for example. So mwanaume alikuwa na responsibility masculine. Enda uchunge ng'ombe, enda utafute kuni and stuff. Mwanamke generally alikuwa yeye kazi yake ni kufua, kuosha vyombo, kupika, like kitchen stuff. So mara nyingi unapata tumekuwa na hizo taasubi. So gender ni basically taasubi.
Also pia vile unapatanga males wanasemanga they like cars, they like football, they like color blue, then madam wanapenda color pink, you know, going out, brunch, stuff like that. Yeah.
You have said it so well.
Yeah.
So just to sum up what you have said, you have talked about sex being biology. So you're either born a male, female, or an intersex. So that is biology. It is natural. It is universal. That's how it is. We cannot change. And about gender, it's like the roles. Now that I was a female, I have this role that nitaosha vyombo, nitafanya all those kind of things. So that is what it is.
Yeah.
So you have said it.
And also, vile umesema, sex is universal. Gender is more it depends on the jurisdiction you're in or like the area you're born in. So that like in the Maasai community, it's different how they define the roles men and women have. And then Majun is different, you know, South Africa, it's different.
Very good point.
Yes.
I like that because you find in some communities,
Yeah.
this role belongs to men,
Yeah.
and when you go to another community, that
Yeah.
role switch,
Yeah,
it belongs
to women. Yeah.
Yes. So now that we have talked about gender, so we know what gender is, maybe I think we have had this term over and over again. Gender equality, gender equity. What is that in your own perspective?
For me, I think gender equality ni aspect ya 50-50. Understand? Like for example, the opportunities ama resources is supposed to be 50-50. Kama ni wanaume wanapatiwa specific roles, wanawake wanapatiwa the same specific roles but on the same level. Si excuse me, si ati inakuwa based on wanaume anaweza fanya vitu heavier than whatever the lady anaweza do, unajua? Because mimi na understand kwamba sisi wote tume create you very uniquely. Kila mtu ako na power yake, kila mtu ako na strength yake. So if Chebet hapa anaweza match my level, na mimi naweza match level yake, then ni proper for us kukuwa on a equilibrium. Unajua, like tunapatiwa opportunity based on what we can do and not what defines us as a man or a woman. So for me, I feel gender equality ni kuweka hiyo level ya 50-50. Yeah.
I think you must say everything, you know, because gender equality is when there's equal opportunities for both men and women, and especially in the creative space. Unasema, let's say, sound people kukwe both female na men. Dancers isikwe tu ni madem kila saa. You know, men are now getting into that space and they're dancing. So basically, gender equality ni ensure that kuna hiyo platform ya kusema weka uko na talanta ukuje hapa upresent. We won't see you as a gender person. Tutakuona kama Coptel ama tukuone kama Elizabeth. So your gender doesn't really matter. Your craft is what is supposed to be more important.
Yeah, a good example maybe kwa industry ni kuna too much domination when it comes to rap music. Especially hip hop, ma headbangers. Unapataga most of the rappers wanakuwaga male, like iko male dominated.
Yeah. Unapataga
madem mara nyingi hawako recognized like au ni ma rapper, unajua, wanakuwaga kwa segregated, hao wanafaa kuimba ma R&B, ma souls and stuff, unajua. But pia ukiangalia hata ukiangalia the likes of kina Sauti Sol for example, they are not rapping but wana fit kwa hiyo category ya soul and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think for me ni ku create hiyo space, unajua, like ku open up for more now, and I think hapo ndo mali equity inaingilia sasa. Try to bridge these gaps, like ku understand, okay, apart from mwanaume anaweza rap, but pia kuna dem anaweza rap. But kama maybe hajafikisha level fulani, so for example if pass mark ni 10% ama ni 10 na akona 7, how do we raise her above that level aweze kufika 10 ndio aweze pia kupata, anaweza dominate pia kwa hiyo space equally na vile mwanaume anaweza dominate. Because for us men inakuwa easy, mimi naweza ingia kwa space ya madem, like for example vile nimesema Sauti Sol, based on their voice, and it's not because wao ni madem but it's because wao ni wanaume na wame challenge the status quo, unajua. So na hiyo inakuwa ngumu sana for madem kujiprove otherwise. So I think for me as a man ni important ku try kutumia tu ile space yangu kuleta madem closer to that podium so that tuweze kucheza na level the same.
So okay, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to add, I think for gender equity now is where you go and look for whichever gender is the subservient one, ile nye haijakuwa dominated kwa the industry. So tuseme kama we have less rappers, una create competition and unasema for women only, you know, women only rappers. Ama kama ni sound, it's only men who are there. Then you create a school where you encourage women to come in. Kuna hizo incentives, maybe wanalipa less fee, you know. Kuna hizo tu affirmative action programs to make sure that your platform is equal to everyone. Yeah.
You have said it so well. Nothing to add there, because like Chebet, you have said, for equity is actually looking at the needs, because we want to reach where the other gender is. So it is like you're looking, oh, Chebet, we want you to be as good as Sauti Sol. So, but you have 1 and 2, 3 you need to do that you don't have. So this is what we are going to give it to you, so that you can raise you, so that we achieve the equality. So the goal is equality, but we need equity to be able to reach equality. And now speaking of equality and equity, kwa hii industry ya sanaa kwa hii industry ya usanii na sanaa, there's a lot of challenges when it comes to that. We have not achieved that for sure. So what are some of the challenges that we have faced in the industry?
Okay, so I think one of the biggest challenges is the stereotypes. So kuna hiyo stereotype ya hata mkiingia tu kwa set, kuna maboy wanafaa kufanya hii na madem wanafaa kufanya hii. So you get that men will get better opportunities. Let's say dem ameenda kuleta chai ama kuleta maji or something. So just when we were talking about gender being a social construct, it boils down to our day-to-day activities, kwa sababu unapata umezoea kwa nyumba, huyu anafanya hivi, huyu anafanya hivi. So you miss out a lot of opportunities, because maybe someone may think huyu hana the same skills. The man doesn't have the same skills as the woman.
But is it not true that women may not have same skills as men? Or
in
is
what
it
way?
Just because you have talked about, like, people assume that maybe male have more skills than women. Is it true or is it not true?
It may not be true. Just sasa kama mimi ni rapper, but ukiniona you can't think I'm a rapper, you know. So nataka tu nipe if I say I'm a rapper, then ufai kuniangalia useme madem hawezi rap or something like that. You know, that stereotype of madem wanapenda soul, you know, something soft, sina dready, you know, sijui ma rough words. So you shouldn't look at me and say huyu ni dem, so obviously haizi rap. You should look at me and say, amesema anaweza rap, amesema kona hiyo talanta, so wacha tumpe your opportunity, your chance.
Okay, so my point on that, I wanted you to clarify on that. It's because we have talked about equity and equality. So when it comes to we have talked about gender as like what people think you should do as well. And when it comes to what you have said about like women, like being people assume that you cannot do it because you're a woman. But at the same time, we also want to achieve the equity where we may have fewer women in the industry. Maybe you gave an example of a sound producer. Producers.
Okay.
We don't have enough sound producers. So even as much as we are advocating for that equality, we also need to give resources, that is equity, so that we can enable women to be able to reach that equality. So that we can be saying, oh, we have 100 men who are trained as sound and 100 women who are trained as sound engineers. So that we can be able to achieve that. So in other words, I'm saying as much as we are talking about
stereotypes.
Stereotype. We should also like try to kill those, because stereotypes are there because we don't have enough of those people. So we should also like look at those issues in general. So what are some of the challenges that you have, and you have seen women, so we can talk about women and then later male in the industry, that you see female are facing this, but me as a man, I cannot face that kind of a challenge?
I think challenges zinakata across na ni vile tu tumeanza na definition ya what gender is and what we think it is. hata from the example in Chebet amesema, like for example ya kuna event ya marappers and hakuna madem kwa hiyo lineup, for example. How best can we do that? So maybe counter your challenge ni by doing a female lineup event. So for example, on 20th kuna event during Mashujaa Day, and it is purely a female-dominated event.
Wapi?
Yeah, like from the
Sound people
like
to
from
the
the sound,
performers.
wase wa camera, wase wa lights, nini.
That's nice.
Why these people doing it? It is because kumekuwa na hii narrative ya male wamekuwa kidominate sana kwa hii space and hawataki kupatiana opportunity to female. Not because our madem hawezi do stuff, but it's because male wana feel wao ndo supreme, wao ndo alianza hii game, wao ndo anafaa kutua hapo kwa hiyo space na nini. And if by any chance dem anafaa kuwa mtu wa mkono, you understand? Because of course maybe juu ya zile the natural, you know, biological factors zenye zinapata madem, for example during your MPs, during maybe kuna mtu huyu unalea na nini, so kuna koga na vitu mob zenye pia sometimes huwa zinachangia. But mimi husemaga if tuko na intention ya kuchange in narrative tunaweza do, and it only takes positive minded people ama wasenye kuna goodwill to make that change. So for example mimi mseka mimi niko hapa hivi and I'm gearing up to make sure hiyo event ime happen and female lineup, kwa sababu tunataka wa match level zenye wanaambia wezi match, unaelewa? So hiyo ndio platform ya kutest hizo levels, ya kuweka Bunsen burner tuone color inatoa gani, unajua. Then after hapo then tunajua out of 15 artists 4 artists walichapa hiyo show vizuri sana, then how maybe 11 wanahitaji kupewa training. Then sasa tunaanza maybe kuandika proposals na nini, tunaambia waseni aje tunahitaji ganji to train ama demo stage performance, maybe production, music, lights and stuff. Then so unapata tuna bridge your gap. But wase wengi, na ndio imekuwa one of the biggest challenges, wanaume wengi hawapendi kupeana hiyo like your opportunity ama your space to madem pia wajaribu kudo stuff. So hiyo ni one of the greatest challenges. Then 2 I think ni story pia ile toga nini ni sex what
Objectification.
Yeah, like unapata siku hizi tumerealize kuna story ya apart from to just being straight, kuna issues around pia LGBTQ na nini. So unapata kuna wase wengi based on whoever they want to become, ama vile tu biologically wamekuwa created, unapata mtu anakuwa manipulated. So unapata for example a guy mwenye anapenda kujiassociate na the opposite sex, or same sex, inakuwa ni issue maybe kupata opportunity, maybe kuperform. So unaanza kukua maybe unatengwa, unaelewa, ama unapata wanaanza kukutumia kama like for you to do a production lazima udoze na msee. So maybe mimi ni lazimishwa kukua gay kwa sababu nataka kurecord na producer ni gay. So inakuwa ni normal for me on my end, unaelewa. So I think hiyo pia ni normal. Alafu pia
Okay. I just wanted to add to your point on that sexual harassment. I think it's very, very rampant for us females.
Yeah.
Because most of the places you go, even as artists, they will tell you, oh, you want to do this, oh, you want to display your painting, I don't know. Even from my friends who are within the creative industry, it's very, very common for female. I don't know about men, but I think if you compare men and women, maybe Chebet, you can back me up on this.
Yeah. No,
I think for women face more sexual harassment.
Yeah.
Kutoka tu kitambo, lazima you pay a certain price and it's not monetary. You know, you have to give up your body. There are certain opportunities inakuwa too opened. If maybe you're sleeping with a producer, which then bring in narrative, women cannot really achieve greatness based on their craft and their talent.
Yeah.
So ina take away from wale wanakuanga wazee. Like sasa unaona tu huyu mtu lazima she slept her way through the top. As in iko tu in our society.
Hata kama uli make it too natural.
Hata kama wewe ulikuwa
bidii yako ilikuwa hapo juu.
Hata kama ni bidii yako, it's very hard to see kama ni bidii yako, but also to tie it in with objectifying women. Unaona kama cause sex sells, and unapata maybe in music videos women are being asked more and more to act a certain way, maybe if they're dancing or if they're performing something. So I think that's challenging because ina reduce dignity ya mtu, especially kama hawaku consent, because consent ndio inakuanga key. So kama hawaku consent and they're doing a certain activity, then ina bring about dignity ya huyu artist inakuwa reduced mpaka unapata mtu anasema heri tu ikae, you know, I would rather not be in the space at all if I'm not going to be respected for my craft. Yeah.
That's nice. A very good point.
Yeah.
You have talked about craft.
Yeah.
And I've remembered that when it comes to craft, when you go to you're looking for a job maybe, and you're a woman, people don't believe in you. My experience is when I'm doing like painting, I'm doing a job, so people ask me, so unajua kupaint, ebu chora nione, because they wouldn't give you a job until they see what you have done. But when it comes to men, it is not like that. It is, oh, I know how to paint, so come and do this job. Okay. Which also translates to you will be paid less.
Yeah.
Because they are not sure.
Yeah.
So they're not sure whether you know what you're doing or not. And I think that's very bad.
But even if they're not sure, your rate card, your pay disparity, there is, kwa sababu unaweza pata rate, mimi na Coptel tunalipwa inaweza kuwa different, not because he's any better, but just because he's a man, and I think mnakuanga better at negotiations or something. Funny enough,
madam ndio waga na negotiate on our behalf.
Really? So wewe manager yako ni madam?
So unapata maybe and I think na nilifanya hivyo deliberately because vile tu unasema wanaume unapata sometimes ni easy to make your point, but now it is way much easier for me kwa kina dem, inakuwa easier for me because yeye atabagain different. Unaelewa? Because now yeye ame understand alafu kwa hiyo space. Si ati anabahatisha. Hiyo ni space yake na ana dominate kwa hiyo space. So akikama na kama na skills zote. Now because I understand what men come with on the table. Sasa yeye pia anakuja na counter. Unaelewa? Because hiyo imefanya pia mimi red card yangu ikapanda. So I used to earn some kidogo.
So you're using women to negotiate.
Yeah, but of course, I can negotiate better inamaanisha pia kuna better pay.
Okay, but what skill is that? True. Ni negotiation skills ama ni art skills?
So yeye anacheza two roles. So ana manage na ana communicate.
Okay.
So yeye ndio anything communications ni nini ndio ana. Because mimi na understand yeye kuna hiyo better. Not because I can't do it, but pia inakuwa ni kazi mob pande yangu. Alafu sasa pia inakuwa pia niko na wanaume wengi kwa set. So na try kubalance. Okay. So mtu wangu wa communications ni madam. Mtu wangu wa camera behind the scenes ni man. Mtu wangu wa sound maybe ni wawili. Boy na dem. I get.
Yeah. Alafu can I hear, okay, vile umesema unaeka dem ndo ana negotiate, kuna hii issue ya the negative masculinity where you find that maybe if you're facing challenges unakazana kimwanaume. So you've seen there's been a lot of suicide in the recent past, where artists are not really speaking, and it's been mostly men as compared to women. So is it something that you'd say you faced personally? Umepata challenges, but then you know the masculinity nasema si lazima nionge, nitangangana.
Yeah, from a point of misinformation, yes.
Okay.
Ile time sikuwa informed, nilikuwa na hiyo notion ama hiyo perspective ya mwanaume ndo mwanaume anafaa kudo everything. Noma ikikupata una deal nayo kiwewe. Unajua? But as time went by and pia kuattend to pia hizi seminars na nini, imenisaidia a lot to understand kwamba no, it's not okay to be okay. Or rather, it's okay
to not be okay.
Yes.
It's okay. Yeah.
So lazima ujibonge. And so for me, I think those sijaifikiria kucommit suicide. Na sijui kama itawai come. But
we hope not.
Kuna watu nimekuwa nao mabesti zangu wenye hata nimewarifaa for PSS counseling na nini. Because imefika mahali msee amepiga ukuta design ni noma, yani lazima tu end story bila anyone kujua, because amejaribu kuihandle lakini imemshinda. So anaona the only thing anaweza do ni kuondokea. So for me, na hata pia mademu ina affect, but at least mademu wanabonga. Sisi for men ni ngumu. So mimi kitambo sikuwa nabonga, but siku hizi niko in a very
ume-evolve.
Niko kwa spaces zenye naweza jibonga, niko na movement ya wasanii wenye tunaweza share. Naomba niaje hapa kuna hii noma, kuna hii noma. And pia manager wangu anacheza role big sana, because now yeye ana understand from the point of ile kulia yenye sisi wanaume watuli. So yeye nikimwambia anajua vile anaweza calm your situation na nini, ananipanga, ananiambia do hivi. Yeah.
Okay. Something else to add on your point. I do a lot of weaving, and I find when it comes to weaving business, you find more men into the business. Like they are just like, oh, unashona, but unaniletea, ninauza. So men are just like the
brokers.
The brokers.
Okay.
Of course, there are some who do the weaving, but very few. And then when you like dig deep, it's because of the role that they have been given in the society, they have to make money.
Yeah.
There's no way out. You have to make money. So those, like we were saying, what gender is, it is the role that you have been given. So that is also forcing you. It is also a disadvantage to you, because your role is to provide.
Yeah.
So you have to go out there. Your role is not to cry. You're a man, you're a boy. You cannot talk about that, just like you have said. So that is also like disadvantaging men and bringing so much burden to the man. Because you are required, the society is shaping you in this way, and in the industry, it is also very hectic for men, because simnajua venye economy iko.
Economy ni mbaya. Naturamba.
Imagine, and then you are required by the society, na unatafutia mingine kwa sababu. So those are things that are adding up and making you to be like making these gender roles and norms and whatever zinafinyilia boy child
as
well.
Affect our mental health. Binoma sana.
Maybe
na information pia iko huko nje. Wasi pia tunafaa tuko tu yani na spaces zenye watu wanaweza bonga. Unaelewa? Hata kama tu ni 1 hour ama 30 minutes. Tuko tu na session tu watu wanaweza tujiongea, waseme iko hivi na hivi manze. Unaona? Because in as much as hata society imeweka hizo vitu hivyo, pia sisi wanaume hatuko open to maybe madem. For example, manzi yangu, najua like wase tuna date ama nini, watu tuko in a relationship now. Mtu ajui mimi na expect nini ama ni levels gani mimi mwisho yangu inafikaga. Because nakuwa tu nimejiekea. Because always nataka kupendeza tu dem. But the more nafanya hivyo, the more najiumiza. So I think pia sisi wanaume ni poa kukuwa na open conversations na wase wenye tu wako around us, our sisters, our girlfriends and stuff, waweze kuunderstand pia mimi ni mwanadamu kama wewe, niko na feelings, niko na emotions, na saa zingine vitu ziuendaga tu ile side nyingine. Na zikienda hiyo side nyingine, wewe ndio unafaa ku support, ama kuna vile unafaa kuni accommodate nikiwa na kai designer na design. Na pia mwanaume anafaa ajue ile time akona noma ako free kuongea. Yeah.
Alafu moving away from that, I think kuna hii shida ya by virtue of just being female, kuna opportunities utamiss. Maybe if you're pregnant, if you're breastfeeding. So if me and you get a child today, I'll have to go home for 6 months, because nalea mtoto. So that's 6 months worth of opportunity that imeenda to waste. Alafu you get that most of these gigs
Actually,
zinakuanga
6 months.
majioni. Ni how many months?
Ni 9 months
Sir?
plus 6 months plus extra like 1.5 years.
Yeah.
Because lazima
Ndo urudi tu back ukiwa
because lazima
fiti.
upeleke mtoto sasa to extent ya anaweza kula,
Yeah.
usiku kula tu, but
Yeah.
anaweza kula fiti.
Yeah.
Naona because mtoi at least afakuwa na mzazi for at least ikienda chini sana 2 years.
In a utopian world.
Yeah. Unaona, so that kuko na hiyo pia parental touch na mtoi na nini.
Yeah.
Mtoi anaweza kusahau.
It's true.
Unaweza kuja home aseme wewe ni sister yake.
Lakini to speak about that as well, the biology, what is biology is the 9 months of pregnancy and the 6 months of breastfeeding.
Yes.
Everything else is socially constructed. Yeah, because after that, you as a man, you can come in and help me to raise the child so that I can go to job. And this is, so these are the things we are calling out because it is making, so after me being a mother and bringing the child to this world, it is also making me like not to get opportunities because people are using that, oh, you're a mother now, you have to take care of your child. But in the real sense, even a father is supposed to take care of the child. So it's not just, the burden is only in women. And that's why we are finding that the reason why maybe we are having fewer women in these spaces, in creative spaces, it is because we have also been added things that are not supposed to be there.
Utanyonyesha saa ngapi? Enda home. Uwezi piga gig mpaka saa 9 usiku.
Uko wapi? You know, at 12.
Masimu 1000.
Sapa nani atapika? You know, but also even in the content that we are creating as creatives, you'll find that still till now kuna stereotypes zinakuwa advanced na hiyo content. Unapata kwa like a cinema or like a play. Bado tu unaona the man ndo analewa, you know, anachapa bibi yake. Alafu the woman ndo anang'ang'ana na watoto. Unajua sasa these things continue, we continue doing this over and over and over and over and over again. Mpaka ime demonize the man in the society. Juu sasa wewe unajua what you see, what you hear is that this man was beating his wife. Na hizo ndo mwana kwa all the plays, all the novels, all the set books. Alafu mama anakuja analea watoto wanagrow, wanakuwa madaktari, wana support mama. So there's no point of evolution where tuna change, tunasema these days. In fact, men take care of children.
Sana.
A lot of them. In fact, squeezy women wanaenda majuu, wanaacha mtoi na the father na anamlea. But we don't see that being portrayed in our industry.
But what about the numbers?
What about the numbers?
Like hiyo namba ya wanaume kulea watoi
ni kidogo bado.
But ina improve.
Lakini sasa kama wewe ungeona play ya baba analea mtoto, si unajua pia wewe ukipata mtoi utaona it's normal. Lakini kama wewe play zako tangu kwa mtoi ni mama ndo anashika mtoto amlee, awapeleke shule. Huyu anatoka job anaenda Kaloko ndo akuje home amchap. You know, over and over and over again. But as a society, that's the point of change. And I think the point of art is to initiate change. So if we can see the role of a man in the domestic sense, then that's how we start changing narratives and minds. And the next generation, itakuwa imekuwa normalized.
To add on your point as well, I think I'm adding so many points.
Just you know, a little bit of wisdom.
You have spoken about like the plays, everything, the art. It is portraying and shaping the world in a certain way. That means even us as artists, when we are doing something, we are also forced to do things the way they are done. So if I'm going to maybe do something about maybe gender-based violence, if I use a woman fighting a man, that piece of mine might not sell.
Yeah, it's true.
So
but the point of art is to change. You know, like art is one of the strongest means of communication. Like say hivi mtu akipiga spoken word, nye inakushika kwa roho, itakuguza na itakuchange. And artists, I think, are the bravest people. Juu wao ndo anataking hiyo first step. Juu hata ndo niseme hii change imekam, kuna mtu mahali alisema, mimi movies nitakuwa na create, naonesha huyu mama akiwa boss as woman. Unaona? So it's a burden, of course, on the creatives.
So, in other words, artists wakwe kichwa ngumu. Yes. So we are going to create
Bring the change you want to
bring,
see. We bring the change we want to see. Juu hiyo ndo ita appeal mse. Unajua hata ukisikianga ngoma, hata kama hauko sad na hiyo wimbo ni sad, utakuwa tu sad. Hata kama hauko in love na usikie tu hiyo ngoma, utafuta tu mtu, you know. So it can be used to bring that change that we want to see.
I don't think kama, okay, in my own perspective.
Okay.
Like design, umesema ati, for example, mwanaume akiimba about the opposite vile tumezoea, like akiimbia boy, haita sell.
It's true.
Sawa?
Yeah.
Mimi na feel different kidogo. Because I think ni juu, because for me it's not about the money first. It's not about monetizing it first. For me it's about the message that comes with it. Then kumonetize wacha ikuje baadaye. Hiyo itajipa tu yenyewe. Unaelewa?
Yeah.
Of course haita make big sell vile unasema.
Yeah.
But if intention yangu ni kuguza mtu mmoja na imemwai, then niko sawa. Because watu wengi waangaliangi hiyo sense ya now how do we change this narrative? Watu wanaangaliaga na nikifanya hii song
Itasell.
Itauza. Ndauza copies ngapi, nda make ganji ngapi, unaelewa? Because for example, ile piece maybe naenda kudu maybe afterwards. Your song it's a true story from a female artist. Unaelewa? Mse mwenye anaisikiza huko nje mwenye ni boy kama mimi atafeel kawaida boy anafaa kuimbia dem. But now difference ni hii story ni real design, isipoongelewa sahi hiyo kitu itakuwa ina happen. Unaelewa? I have another piece yenye nabonga about story na sodomy na nini. Enye nikitoa sahi watu maybe watarelate nayo immediately na itakuwa very effectively. Sawa? But as time goes by, wase wakiendelea kuisikiza itakuwa ina make sense pole because nimeiandika for the longest time. Sijaiandika tu ya sahi. Like na si ati niko na ubaya na watu gengeton. Si kama gengeton, ni bubble gum ndaimba sahi na ishe. Ni song itakuwa hapo na itakuwa. So everybody atakuwa naisikiza, iwe ni boy, iwe ni dem, atakuwa na relate. Because na target dem akona ball, na ball amebeba ni ya boy. So hii kitu ita affect mtoi wake in the next 5 years, 10 years. Unaelewa? Because sodomy inaweza happen kwa mse yote. Unaelewa? Rape inaweza happen kwa dem yote. Unaelewa? So ni wewe as an artist, how do you frame your message? Una target nani at that particular time? Unaelewa? So mara nyingi unapataga maybe kama mimi nikiandika song na kuandika song based on either ni experience enye mimi mwenyewe nimepata nayo ama enye mse either ni close ama ni mse ni story nimefanya research na nimerealize ni story inaweza leta change kwa mtu. Yeah.
Okay, but true. Yes. Maybe now we have in story ya A-zee isha about gender.
Kuna part 2 na part 3.
Yes, it doesn't, and it's true.
Part 2 na part 3, so maybe we can, kama uko na point yako ya mwisho unaweza sema.
You'll go first.
Go first.
Ladies first. Okay. I think in the time and age we are in, gender is a very important topic. Not only because for the longest time the women have been on the receiving end, but now we are seeing a shift where now there's no proper balance between the two genders. Yeah. Na kwa creative space ni 2 ways. The first one is ukitumia the creative space, you reach more people at the same time. So we can use this space to make sure that people know that gender should not be something to be to deny other people opportunities. But also secondly, kuangalia kwa artists na creatives bado hawako comfortable in the industry. Juu ya hizi gender stereotypes, gender roles, and they've faced a lot of discrimination. Yeah. So it's about time we work towards gender equality.
Yeah, hata nikiongezea ndakuwa naongezea nini. But ni poa vile umesema because I think bado kuna hiyo gap sana. Yeah. Kuna gap big sana yenye lazima to narrow down. Unaelewa? And it will only take goodwill.
True. Hakuna
kitu kingine. Ni goodwill ya ku switch to your narrative na kuishape iko vile inafaa. Lazima hizi levels ziko tu hapa katikati. Lazima tu tukue equal. In one way or another lazima.
True.
Okay, maybe to sum up on what we have talked about and discussed in this conversation, I've had us talk about
What gender is,
what gender is,
what sex is.
what sex is, the challenges being maybe low pay on this side of women, mental health in the side of male, and so many things we have talked about.
Yeah.
And so we have come to an end of this episode, but we said in the beginning we are going to have a surprise creative piece. Of course, we are all creative, so we have something for you, and I would like Coptel to take over.
Yeah.
It's not yours.
Sasa niongeleshe watu wangu hapo hivi. Unajua hao ndio waga wanafanya tunalipa bills so I wrote something vile nilimention, niliandika kitu about kitu li happen, true story. This is based on true story. Na inaenda hivi So community imekuwa koti na sasa hivi wanamjudge tu. Wanauliza alikuwa anatafuta nini akitembe usiku. Na skati yake imembana, vitai tena sana. Ati mbona hakupiga nduru ama alifilikiwa tamu. Tamu tena sana. Mbona hakusema no. Na huyu jamaa wa base anakuanga mpole tu. Na hii tabia tukoshua haizi tu. Anafeel akili yake iko karibu kulipuka juu ya mawazo zimejificha kwa kichwa akikumbuka vile mkono alibanwa huku mdomo amebanwa kwa sana, ati yeye ndio alitaka na alikipatapata. Hizi thoughts zinaongeza volume mpaka najiogopa na dhani anahitaji help juu hawajui brain yake ina feel nini. Hizi ni zaidi ya adrenaline, ni poison na ni conk tena sana, na tayari na spread fast. Anaishi tu ama anaishi kusurvive, na try to find refuge. Kwanza kujidanganya uko aje, niko poa, niko poa. Hizo picha ziko mwake akilini zinamfungia. Kwanza kwa past yake words kama innocence haiwezi make sense. Hata mashtaka isipomfavor, hiyo si coincidence. Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
anaishi tu.
Anaishi tu ama anaishi kusurvive.
Okay, that was all from us.
Yeah.
Thank you.